The Paladins are one of the strongest classes in this game, and you can enjoy them either in party or alone, especially when playing on Tactician difficulty. Currently, I'm using a Devotion build in combination with Sorcerer Multiclass, which allows me to cut through any encounter without breaking a sweat. It delivers mind-blowing damage and it has exceptionally good survivability. Without wasting your time, let me dive right into it.
Now, let's delve into the leveling part between level 1 and 6. First, your subclass for this build should be Oath of Devotion, and I need to warn you that if you intend to do evil deeds, either do it without your Paladin present or choose Oath of Vengeance as a subclass. When it comes to ability points distribution, here is what I recommend at the very beginning. And once you finish exploring Emerald Grove and head out, you can visit Withers to change them to this. The strength will be boosted with the Elixir of Giant Heal Strength, which can be bought from Auntie Ethel in the Grove. She sells 3 elixirs on each long rest, so you won't have a problem stockpiling a decent amount that could last you until the very end of the game. However, keep in mind that these elixirs are not very cheap for beginners, that's why I would suggest you using your rogue in combination with the spell Fog Cloud from a wizard, sorcerer or druid to obtain the elixirs for free. At level 2, you acquire your main attack, Divine Smite. As for spells, they don't really matter, choose whatever you want. For the fighting style, select Great Weapon Fighting, which reduces the chances of landing minimum damage when attacking. Next level, you obtain Sacred Weapon, which increases your attack rolls based on your Charisma modifier. Also, you gain access to a very useful spell called Sanctuary, which gives you protection from being attacked until you start attacking. Upon reaching level 4, you gain your first feat, which should be Great Weapon Master. This one is extremely good because it increases your damage by 10 points and grants an extra melee attack as a bonus action on critical hits or direct kills the same turn. The only downside is that it reduces your accuracy by 5 points, but this is not really anything to worry about. At level 5, you receive an extra attack per turn and few spells that most likely won't have to use at all, except Protection from Poison, which is quite a nice buff because it doesn't require concentration and lasts until long rest. Level 6 grants you Aura of Protection, which increases your saving throws based on your Charisma modifier, or in other words, makes you harder to hit. At level 7, you will need to visit Withers again and respec your character into 5 levels of Paladin and 2 levels of Sorcerer. There will also be changes in your ability points once you acquire the Gloves of Dexterity from the Githyanki Crash, and once more when you reach Baldur's Gate.
Leveling your Paladin to level 5 remains unchanged. Starting from level 6, it's time to multiclass into a Sorcerer. For the subclass, the best choice would be Draconic Bloodline with Redfire Draconic Ancestry. This grants extra HP points, increased fire spell damage that you will use later on, and fire resistance. Level 7, you gain an action that allows you to exchange sorcery points into spell slots used by your Paladin and vice versa. From the spells tab, the best choice is to select the reactionary spell called Shield, which boosts your armor class by 5 points while the enemy's turn lasts. From the class passives, the last option is the one you need the most, Twinned Spell. It allows you to target one additional creature while casting any spell or cantrip. The best use of it is with the spell called Haste. With one cast, you get to buff 2 characters from your party. As for the second option, it doesn't really matter which one you pick. At level 8, it's important for you to get Mirror Image because it makes you tankier and lets you survive almost anything. From the class passives, I would recommend getting Quickened Spell, which allows you to cast spells as bonus actions instead of actions. At level 9, you get the Firebolt cantrip, unless you already have it from your race. In that case, you just pick whatever you want, and from spells, take Scorching Ray. As for the feat, depending on the race of your character, there are 2 good choices and several optional ones. The first one is Savage Attacker. Unless you are a half-orc, who has it as a racial trait, This one has high priority because it gives 2 damage dice and it always uses the higher one. The second option is Alert, which increases your initiative by 5, thus allowing you to attack first most of the time and preventing you from being surprised, which would cost you 1 turn in combat. The best optional choices are Ability Improvement and Resilience. At level 10, 4th level spell slots get unlocked, which means we get stronger smites. For spells, there are 3 good choices here: Fireball, Haste and Counterspell. If you're playing solo, Counterspell would be the best choice. If not, pick Haste with priority, and on the next 2 levels, you will be able to pick the ones you left out this level. At level 11, you get your Fire Elemental Affinity, which increases your fire spell damage and can also provide you with fire resistance. For spells, choose either Counterspell, Haste or Fireball, depending on which one you left out at this level. And at the last level, 12, it opens a level 5 spell slot plus 1 last spell, which should be the one you left to get from the recommended choices at level 10. Now, when it comes to gear, in the beginning the choices are quite limited. However, once you explore Emerald Grove, visit few merchants inside and complete 1 or 2 quests, this is what you should have at the end. As you progress further in Act 1, here are the gear recommendations I suggest. And if you're wondering why Second Sword, it's quite simple. Power Aloof is the most useful support item in the entire game, and by that I mean it provides area of effect damage or buff aura, which you can use before every fight. In Act 2, you have the opportunity to upgrade most of your gear, and this is what we recommend getting. Additionally, the support gear options expand from 1 to 4, including the Darkfire Shortbow, which grants the Haste spell, Gloves of Automation, providing attack rolls advantage buff for 10 turns, and lastly, the Dragon Glaive, offering 1d4 elemental damage boost to weapon of your choice. The final gear upgrade takes place in early Act 3. Most of the new items can be purchased from merchants, and only the main weapon requires completing one fairly simple quest. Ultimately, gearing up for the last part of the game will be extremely easy, allowing you to fully enjoy your Paladin. Additionally, here are some alternative items that can be quite useful in specific situations. When it comes to Ilithid Powers, there is no downside of using them. They can only enhance your gameplay experience, and without going into more details, this is what I recommend for you to get. If this video has been helpful to you in any way, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you have any questions or just want to add something, feel free to drop a comment below. Thank you for watching.